Morning. It's Sunday, November 26th, and I'm here this morning in defense of a great nation. And the nation I am prepared to defend is Israel. A small country, a population of about 9 million people, of which 7 million are Jews. And Israel is constantly being attacked on all sides from its neighbors. Rockets firing into its properties every single day. And right now, in the midst of a horrible war, because of a vicious attack by its neighbor in Gaza, populated by the evil group called Hamas. And right now, there's a big prisoner of war swap going on. But the fighting will continue. But I'm not going to talk about the war. I am going to talk about this false lie that continues to appear in writing, on the news, in various places. And I am going to categorically say that Israel is not an apartheid state. And here's why. First thing you must understand is that these allegations that Israel is an apartheid state are false under international law. Apartheid was the South African system that denied certain racial groups access to political and judicial systems in their country. And it forced them to live in inferior living spaces, and it was forced to give them poor educational opportunity. And it controlled every aspect of their lives. And now the world, or parts of the world, are accusing Israel of treating the Palestinians in the same way that the South Africans treated the members of the black community. There must be racial animus for apartheid to exist. And when we look at the Arab, they're racially identical. They are no different than the Jew. And the Arab citizens enjoy the same rights as the Jewish Israelis, including the right to form a political party, a right to stand for election, opportunities to serve in members of the Knesset, and members of the judiciary, and members of the diplomatic corps, members of the police force, and many other rights and privileges which were totally foreign in the apartheid state. These facts mean that there are lies in claiming racial discrimination. And racial discrimination is what lies underneath apartheid. Israel does not have any racial discriminatory policies against all Arabs under its control. And Israel clearly does not do the things that they did in South Africa. So there must be a different reason for what's going on. So if the Arabs in Israel are treated the same as the Jews in Israel, what's the difference between those treatments and the treatments that go to the West Bank and Gaza? The answer to that question is not complicated. Arabs residing in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are not now and have never been Israeli citizens, and therefore cannot claim the rights due to Israeli citizens. All countries favor their own citizens vis-a-vis the non-citizens, and doing so is not an indication of apartheid simply because the two groups are treated differently. And in addition to that, many Arabs in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are engaged in the ongoing conflict with Israel. Every day, Israel has to come to grips with the hostile Arab population that does not appreciate Israel's existence and actively seeks to destroy the Jewish state. Constant bombardments by rockets and things like that all the time. So that requires that Israel take certain measures for its national security. So because of the ongoing conflict, the relationship between the West Bank and the Gaza Strip is governed primarily in terms of the law of armed conflict. It's not a war, but it's an armed conflict. It's now a war. And any acts or policies of alleged discrimination by Israel against the Arabs living in the West Bank and Gaza Strip must be looked at not as you would normally view it, but you have to look at it under the law of armed conflict. And as long as Israel's actions and policies comply with applicable international law, they are lawful. Israel's actions are based upon well-recognized national security need, not racial animus. And that's the difference between apartheid and non-apartheid. Racial animus is critical in calling a nation apartheid. So people out there misuse the term, misunderstand the situation which Israel is living under. Constant bombardment by their enemies on both sides. And when you look at the history of this thing, there's no reason for all of this. When Israel left Gaza, it left them in good shape with businesses and everything, and they destroyed everything, Israel. So they don't want a two-state solution. They want the annihilation of the Jews. And this falsehood of apartheid is just one more mechanism that they are using. And I am not sure this has been perpetrated by the Palestinians. The apartheid callers come from many people who don't understand the meaning of the word, don't understand the situations that cause the Israelis to behave the way they do. One cannot say the poor Arab people are being oppressed when they have chosen that path. They have chosen not to have a state. They have chosen to be fighting Israel for the rest of their lives. A foolish decision. Why can't they live peacefully? The Arab population is 1.2 billion, and the Jewish population is 14 million. Yet those 14 million have contributed much more to the universe, to the human race, than those 1.2 billion people. So why? Why is Israel being attacked the way it is? Because it's straight up and out antisemitism. That's it. There's no other reason for these people to be upset by Israel. So don't be carried away with all the lies, because the bottom line is that Israel treats all of its citizens, Jew, Arab, Druze, equally before the law. And they don't look at racial or ethnic differences. And you better believe that. Have a great day. Bye.